Hey everybody, it's Lewis Porter Jr. It is Friday, November, what's it, 14th? 14th of November? I guess, I don't remember. I have a little bit of a cough and a thing, so you hear me cough a couple times in here. Sounds like I'm dying or got some smoker's cough, but I'm not doing either, so I don't understand why I have it, but I got a little cough, so. So where have I been? What have I been doing? God, it's hot here. Okay. If you don't know Florida, it's Florida in fall, which means it's about 85 degrees, well, like 80 degrees outside. So while it is not cold, while a lot of you are freezing, I'm not like rubbing this in, I'm just saying it's very hot, so I have to turn the AC a little bit. So I'm hoping you can't hear it in the video. So what's going on? Well, we released a couple of products. We did our Vehicles of Legend that Jeff Lee wrote, which was very well done. I'm very happy about that one. I really like that one. I am upset that we didn't get to use original art. We had to go stock art, but you know, those are the choices we have to make to keep things in budget and stuff like that. The other good thing that we released, I keep going back, we released Life After Undeath, which I think is amazing. I mean, it really was an homage to Ghost Walk with WotC. I think that Rich Redmond did an awesome job on it. If you haven't picked it up, pick it up. If you're a fan of Ghost Walk, please pick it up. Give us a review of it. What do you really think? I think it was great, but you know, whatever. It's my opinion. You tell me if it's great. That's one thing. So go pick that up. Also, I know that we have iconics that I'm working on for Obsidian Apocalypse. We're doing for the Prometheans, both of them. The Usmati and the Regine, they all have iconics we built for them. I'm still waiting to get those back. I know we're somewhere in the middle of that. I've got the Neo Exodus project. Okay, I've been working on, as you all know, on revamping the Neo Exodus campaign book. So I've been adding stuff to it, taking stuff out that I didn't need. For all you people who kept saying that you wanted to have it, which I still don't understand why, but whatever, I put in height tables and weight tables and age tables, so you can be very happy about that. Some people get very, very serious about that. I was just like, well, I'll take it easy. But whatever, that happens sometimes. And then I'm also, you know, thinking about adding 2 races to the setting. Now, a lot of people are like, well, why are you going to add a race? You know, these races are already great that you have. I'm like, yes, the races we have are great, and they work very, very well. And we were actually doing a great job with them. And I don't know if I told everybody this. Yeah, I don't think they did. Clinton Boomer has been nice enough to do some add-on to some of the races on some race traits, some additional race traits, or sorry, alternate race traits. And I know, like, that he's done, because my thing was, we did the first round of them, and like the Gebbit, for example, it only got 2 alternative traits, and both were, one was for male, one was for female. And I'm like, that's not enough. That's not enough traits. That's not enough traits. And then, like, I wanted them to have at least, you know, 5, well, at least 4, minimum 4, no more than 6. You know, I wanted people to have a good, hefty ability to make the specific race they want to make with some cool options for them. So that's why I asked Clinton, who's been doing an amazing job on his blog. So I said, hey, you know, could you do me a favor? Can you do these for Neo Exodus? And he was like, sure, no problem. So he's been working on those. And when he was doing that, I said, you know, let me think about doing the 2 races I wanted to add. And I think I'm going to reveal them, maybe today. I don't know. Maybe I will. And well, I put one of the races, the idea and the concept of what cool ability I wanted to have. So, as always, I'm looking through my Legion of Superheroes, because if you want to do cool races, look at Legion of Superheroes. Lots of characters, lots of power, lots of cool, interesting powers you can steal good ideas from. That said, they have one character goes by the name Sensor Girl. And let me geek out for a moment, so just go with it. Sensor Girl has a power to cast illusions. Okay, it's not the greatest power in the world, but whatever, I'll let it go. After her husband, the Karate Kid, one of my favorite characters of all time, gets killed, she basically develops these new powers. And the concept alone is kind of interesting. And basically, she has the power to see the truth of things, see like the realities of things. So things like, to the point of like things like distance. She can see things at a distance because distance is just really an illusion. You know, it's because the light bends. They did that. She can hear things, that kind of thing. And it gave her a lot of cool superpowers. Well, she already had the superpower. Well, she didn't really already have the superpower. She gave her superpowers, and it fooled a lot of people who she thought she was. And like I said, I think the character's name is Sensor Girl. If you're wondering, you can see I think I did a blog post. I know I did a Facebook post of it. Check out your Facebook, you can see the link. And I like the concept of having a character that can see the truth of things. You know, it's like, oh, I can, you can possibly see through walls, see through darkness, things like that. You know, you aren't affected by things that would probably delay or manipulate people. You know, when people are lying to you, you can see through the lie. I think that can be a kind of cool ability, and as a race, I think it'd be very, very interesting. I mean, even the concept of having an entire race of people who are very truthful and very, you know, they don't have to hide anything. Because to them, you know, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't like you. I don't like you. We're not going to butter it up and be like, there's none of that falsity. So I think that could be a cool race to develop and really do some cool stuff. That same race, I don't want to give it away. Because I'm still developing it. And I don't know if it's going to be 100%. And I don't know if it's going to be, but I'd like to do it. That's the thing. Now I'm just debating if I should tell you. I just don't know. You know what? I'm just going to tell you. All right. Look. I wanted to add half giants to the setting. I like the idea of half giants. I like what they kind of represent. They're kind of, okay, it can be kind of cool. It could make sense for Neo Exodus. Because I'd have them as a race, a new race coming to Neo Exodus. Via the whole Kaga and that. And that's going to tie into the second race. God, throat, sorry. Oh, God. And here I go, my coughing fit. So, you've got these half giants who come to Neo Exodus, who set up a colony and start coming in, that kind of thing. And I want to tie the whole truth thing with them. Because they're kind of, in a sense, they're kind of judges. They judge people, they judge things. I think that could be kind of a cool tie-in to the setting. I mean, I have some ideas that I'm definitely not fully developed, so I don't want to pitch them all here. But I like that idea of them coming to the world to that. They have information, the Kaga kind of draws them there, they start trading information and that kind of thing. I think that's kind of cool. I'm still debating about making them psionic. And that's the whole thing. If I give them the whole truth thing, I don't know if psionics would be possible and done right. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm still working it out. I've thought about it immensely, you know, for weeks and weeks and weeks. That's, you know, when it comes to making races, you got to be, you know, you got to think about it. You got to think about what's going to work, what's not going to work, and really what works best with the setting. So that's always been one that I've been, you know, thinking about. Now the second race kind of came up on the concept of, it's very much a race that I think makes sense for our setting. And I think not everybody's going to like it. I know some people are going to be like, that's the worst idea ever. And, you know, personally, hey, that's great. But for our setting, it makes a lot of sense. I'm thinking about adding, wait for it, I'm thinking about adding androids to the setting. And I know some people are like screaming like, what? Why are you going to do that? Well, it really came down to thinking about what is the Kaga in Neo Exodus. Okay, you've got this big computer that's, you know, 300 people, mindset attached to it. Yeah, human beings are, you know, interacting. And they have their own, I mean, they have their own prestige classes. And the prestige class turns you more and more machine-like. So I was just thinking, well, why wouldn't he just build his own people? I mean, why wouldn't he just, I mean, he virtually is very much like a god or a deity. So why don't we just figure out ways to make, how he'd make a race? And androids kind of make the most sense. And I'm debating about even calling them androids. I'm like, I might give them a better name. Which I'm thinking about calling them Kagan. Because, you know, got the Kaga, so that kind of thing. But I'm still, that's not 100%, but that's still, but it makes sense. It's like a big computer would make a race of artificial people. And I'm debating about instilling another idea, because look, let me tell you, steal the good ideas. There's lots of good ideas there. Still, I'm thinking about breaking them into like a 3-caste system. So it's going to be very much, here's a Babylon 5 thing, warrior, religious, worker. And splitting them like that. And like, you know, 1/3 is warriors, 1/3 is this. And that's kind of the concept. It's all about the triangle, a 3, and that's what I've been looking at with them. But the thing I don't like is, you know, looking at the stat block for the android, you know, it makes sense and it doesn't. I mean, the Nanite Surge, which I've never been positive about, I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. So if you look at, you know, the advanced race guide and you really start looking at numbers and pulling numbers out, I think there's some cool stuff we can keep with them, but there's also some cool stuff, you know, we can get rid of. I don't think the Nanite Surge is a great racial ability. I don't think as a race it's very exciting. I think it's kind of like, So then I thought about, for them, I said, what if I could figure out a way to do this? And I thought this could actually be kind of cool. Get him to be able to drain charges from magical items to heal themselves. I mean, you know, they're made from magical source. They're constructs. Maybe there's a way to do that and make it kind of cool. Because I think the big problem becomes is like, how much can they heal from this thing compared to that thing compared to this thing? And I still have to kick that around. I mean, I've got to talk to some people about it and get some feedback. But I think, you know, for me, visually I have a good idea of how I want the androids to look and what makes them different from human beings or any other humanoids. So when people see them, they're like, oh, okay, those guys are androids. Because they're supposed to be android looking. But I also want to give them, you know, a kind of cooler look. I mean, let's be honest. I'm about making cooler looks. I like things that have a certain look and style and aesthetic. So I want them to have the same thing. And I've kind of got an idea that's almost there. But I still gotta work it out. I'm not 100%, but... So, and the reason for me really adding the 2 races, I like the races that we have, but over time, you know, more races would appear on Neo Exodus. I mean, it's only logical. They've got these big portals that travel with people around the world. And when new ideas come in, new concepts come in, you get more and more stuff. That's why, you know, this book that I'm doing, I keep referring to the ultimate version. I mean, that's not even really a great idea for a name, because God knows you can change ultimate every 5 seconds. But this ultimate edition has a lot more stuff in like direct comparison to the original campaign book. The original campaign book is a solid book. Don't get me wrong, it's a solid book. It did everything it was supposed to do. But there's stuff that got left out, and I didn't even notice it until I started working on like Obsidian Apocalypse. Just a lot of artwork, design, giving people more, listening more to the people is really the best thing. I mean, you know, Obsidian Twilight came out first, and people liked a lot of things, and they reviewed it, and they told us a lot of things they liked about it. At the same time, they also told us a lot of things they didn't like. So when we made Obsidian Apocalypse, we listened to what everybody said, we took it basically in, and then we got a great writer to basically do great campaign toolkits, and it just rocked. It was everything that I think people wanted. I think people who bought it were very happy they bought it. They got to play in a world that very much made sense, with awesome characters. I mean, awesome races. Let's just be blunt. There's some awesome races in that book. So, I'm looking at Neo Exodus, and you know, that really is my magnum opus. That was nasty. Ugh. God, that was horrible. Anyway. What was I? Neo Exodus, magnum opus? Yes. So I just want to do the same kind of high quality, smart stuff in that book. I mean, it really is. I love the setting. I love the setting from the beginning. I think it's a very, very niche setting. You know, people have called it close to Taslantia, which I'm like, I guess it's a compliment. You know, I didn't play Taslantia, so I don't know, but I'm assuming it's a compliment. And, you know, and we also thought about, you know, ways you can bring back, you know, other races to the setting, and you know, it's hard to make a setting that really is so away from traditional fantasy. Because I mean, look, there are enough settings out there that do traditional fantasy very, very well, that I don't need to jump into their field and do what they do. You know, I mean, let's Cobalt Press, Open Design, like you call them Cobalt. Yeah. Open Design has, you know, their setting. You know, and it's like, people like it. It's very what they expect fantasy to be. And I think, you know, even Pathfinder is very much traditional fantasy, not too extreme on it. But, you know, I play to a niche. What's that niche? That niche of, we're going to do fantasy. We're going to do fantasy you haven't seen before. You know, I definitely can say, I guess even visually. Visually, I've been inspired by the game system, the game Destiny. If anybody's had a chance, and this is for designers and just people in general, if you want to see what good game design is, the guys who did Destiny did several videos about how they thought about the game, how they designed the art, everything. I mean, it's really interesting. You can find them on YouTube. They're everywhere. Just type in Destiny and then look for the ones actually done by Bungie. They're there, and it's like talking how they came up with the ideas of what the world should look like, what people should look like. I think that kind of influenced me when rethinking about doing this whole new revamp of Neo Exodus. It was, you know, Neo Exodus has a very specific look and feel, and you know, it's got a lot of that going. Well, at the same time, some of it isn't 100% solid. And for myself, it's like, hey, I think we really got to focus on that. I think we got to focus on making it more defined, making it more focused, when people pick up the Neo Exodus book, it's like, wow, I've never seen that before. That's very cool. I like that. I think that's excellent. So I just want to go out of my way and make something like really, really awesome. So when people are like, oh, I really saw that book, I really liked it, you know, I want to really push it, you know, and at the same time, that does turn some people off. I mean, let's be honest. Some of the races in Neo Exodus are a little weird, and not everybody's going to get it, and I get that. So, you know, I've tried to find ways to make it easy on people. You know, we've given away a lot of free products to get people, you know, understanding, okay, this is why this works the way it does. And even on the whole concept of, you know, the standard races, while we don't have them, we never actually really mentioned them in the book. And I know I've talked about, well, how would if I wanted to integrate them into the book, how could I do that? And I've thought of a couple different ways, and I've kicked them around. So, you know, in my head, if we ever do standard races, I think we have a logical idea why they exist, why it exists. I think we can do it well. I just think it's going to take some time. I think it's going to take some time to where I'm happy with it. You know, I got to be happy with it. So, and, you know, I want people, when they play Neo Exodus, to realize, oh wow, this is a really cool setting, and the adventures are really there's really good adventures too. I think that there are people who would want to play our stuff. I mean, there are people who definitely want to play, but even exposing to more people, I mean, more fans of Pathfinder. It's, you know, it's a toughie. It's tough making a setting where it's unique, that other people will enjoy it, but at the same time, what I love about people, yeah, come on, you can get in. What I love about people in Florida, you know, you don't know how to drive, so now you come over and you're like, please let me in. Florida. Anyway, I think it's, like I said, I think it's difficult to get people excited about a new idea in fantasy. And there hasn't been like a lot of massively, you know, changes in fantasy in a long time. I mean, the closest I can say is most video games have helped update and modernize the look and feel and aesthetic of fantasy games, but at the same time, you know, elves are still very common, dwarves are still, because that's the common thing you expect. And some people do that. Some people add some more stuff. But I wanted to get away from that much traditional stuff because you are kind of bogged down. Wow, really? You can't drive any faster. You are kind of bogged down with the ideas and concepts about these races that's difficult for you to tell, like, kind of new and inventive stories. So, you know, I think that you really gotta kind of, I don't say work hard, that's not the right word. You really have to kind of focus on what kind of story you're telling with your campaign setting. And the story I was telling with Neo Exodus was really about, you know, politics and interaction. And, you know, it's like, you know, like the joke is, you know, this is my fantasy love letter to Babylon 5. I've said that several times, and I think people understand that shortcut, you know, and when I say that, they're like, oh, okay. And it's helpful. So, I think it helps. Well, I've been rambling on for like 20 minutes almost. Okay. Well, then I'll wrap this up because I gotta finish driving. I'm gonna go home, probably relax, put this online, all kinds of stuff. But I think I'm very happy with the stuff we're doing. I'm also still looking for more new stuff to do. I know something I've been talking about, I haven't mentioned to anybody, but I'm going to say it out. I'm going to say it out loud. I've talked to a lot of publishers about this. Is that, you know, I want to actually do other game systems. You know, I've been very interested in doing something for Fate. I think I have a kind of cool idea. I think it would work well with Fate, but I don't know the system that well. So if someone's, you know, doing Fate and wants to approach me with something, you know, hey, give me a call. I might be the guy who could find maybe something to do. You know, right now as always, you never know. You know, I keep wanting to do a D20 modern something. Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I keep getting sales on my D20 Modern stuff like every day. Someone buys something of D20 Modern every day for me still. We're talking projects that are like, 6, 7 years old. They're still buying them. People are still discovering them. They're saying, oh, I love this. I wish you had more stuff. And I'm just like, ugh. And that always becomes a problem. I wish, I pray, I hope that Paizo says, we're going to do a modern version. Just maybe it's a modern setting rule book. That's all. I mean, look, that's all you need to do. Do a modern setting rule book. Here are the rules. Trust me, there are a lot of third-party guys like myself, Owen specifically, and myself. We're more than happy to support modern stuff. Oh, more than happy. I cannot wait. And I'm hoping that someone will say, yes, I want to do modern Pathfinder. And like I said, maybe it's one book, maybe it's a book a year. Maybe they don't really focus on it like I would. But I tell you, I would love to do that. I think there's some cool stuff that I think would be awesome to do. I mean, spy stuff. There's so much cool spy stuff I want to do. There's kind of cool X-Files conspiracy stuff I want to do. So, I'm always open. All right. I'm almost to where to pick this up for the lovely care of the folks. I hope he wasn't too crazy today. He's been pretty crazy lately because he's growing up and he's being 4. And that's what people tell me. But I love that kid. He's amazing. So I always tell people it's the best job I never knew I was qualified for, was being a father. But I love the job. I couldn't ask for anything better. All right, I've got work. I got home to do work. I don't know if I'm gonna do any work. I gotta figure out what products we're gonna do for next year because it's almost next year. So I got some big ideas I'm gonna do. Oh, by the way, yep, this is going longer than I planned. For all you were wondering, yeah, the Kickstarter, yeah. Look, it like I said in the last video, it didn't look good. I don't want to waste anyone's time, so that's why we took it down. There are rumors we might be doing it up in February again. I don't even know what's going to happen. I'll tell you the truth. Because honestly, I'm a realist. If people weren't interested, they weren't interested. So, maybe we'll get them interested in a different way. I know for a fact we're working on the first adventure from the Cross of Fire, which will be available for sale. I'm hoping the text will come to me by beginning of next week. We're going to put it into editing, and then I'm hoping to even have it out for Black Friday or Cyber Monday that people can pick up, purchase, and have it, just a cool nice little Christmas gift. And we're going to see about the other adventures and see where that goes. We're going to see how it does, and then we'll go from there. So that's where we are. I mean, I think the adventure is great. I think the adventure concept, the adventure path is great. I cannot wait to see if we do it. So we're gonna probably do it anyway, but it's not gonna be done the way I wish it would have done. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Getting a bunch of money from Kickstarter is great, so you can, so we've done a lot of the work up front, and now we're just looking to recoup it a little bit. So it is what it is. It didn't work out. I hoped for it. It didn't. We did our best. We pushed it. The fan base might be tired of Kickstarters, or that didn't excite them as much, but it is what it is, and I accept that. That's all you can do. All right, let me get out of here. I'm gonna finish this up, go home. I'll talk to y'all later.